Should you switch from being a booth rental salon to a commission salon? Maybe, maybe not. All on today's podcast.
Salon owners are some of the most amazing people on planet Earth. The only problem is sometimes their hearts are so big and they give so much of themselves to their staff and guests that it creates unintended consequences. Our goal is to change the industry by elevating the way the rest of the world sees salons, spas, and barbershops and give it the credibility that it truly deserves. This is the Salon Owner Evo Revo Show. Today's podcast is brought to you by Salon Scale, allowing you to charge by what you know, not by what you feel.
Not gonna lie, this is the hot topic, Mr. Campbell. Booth rental versus commission. We've had this discussion over and over again, and people fight in comments with me, and people say, especially in California, man, people go, oh, booth rental's illegal or commission's illegal. There's no way you can run salons this way. But for crying out loud, this is the real topic. The other one that people use, Doug, is people say, well, commission's on its way out because there's so much booth rental on the rise. And I think this is a hot topic. So if you're listening to today's show, either with us live, online, or watching us on video, do me a favor and say hot topic, because I think this is a really important topic for you as a salon owner to understand no matter what type of salon you have. Yeah, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, there are different types of salons. You got to figure out what model works best for you and really think about what works best for you and what you're trying to create. Because I think sometimes people just do it because everybody else is doing, or I think I should do it, and haven't really thought through what works for me and what works for what I want to create. I think that's the bigger.
Yeah, and I think just know, too, that we're building some resources right now, depending on what type of salon you are. And I think this is full disclosure, like any good political debate. We should probably tell you what side of the fence Doug and I sit on, because we are big fans of team and commission-based salons, salons that are driving forward to create teams of people to actually grow a business, and we actually coach to that. So I think it's worth saying that that's how we coach, how we train, and how we teach. And so for you to kind of know that going into it, of course, we're going to kind of make a case for why that's important. But I want to bring on some friends of ours, some clients inside of our academy who have actually made a transition from being rental to commission, and also disclosure too, that Doug, can we give the disclosure about your salon when you guys, or your salons and barbershop, I got to add this in there, to when you guys got started?
Yeah, when we first started, we started as a blended salon, trying to make everybody happy.
Right.
And it ended up making no one happy, including us. It was rough. And so we decided after doing that for a year, we'd switch to, because we knew what we wanted. One, created a team where everybody worked together. Everybody came in, was on the same page, on the same team, doing the same thing. Because in booth rental world, I mean, everybody's independent. They can do what they want to do. And it's just according to what you're looking for. If you want so be in the salon business, I mean, in my opinion, if you're a full booth rental, you're really more in the real estate business, because in a lot of states, there's only very little things that you can actually require of them to do.
Right.
And if you step over that line, they're considered employees, and then you're in trouble because the state will come after you for matching taxes and everything else. There was a salon here in town that got one of their former employees or former booth rental people sued them, and they had to go back. They went back 13 years and had to pay matching tax for 13 years. Yes.
Yikes. That's not a good day. So, and by the way, that was not our guest today. Our guest today, Mandy and Ashley from Kansas City. What's up, ladies? As we say, go back 13 years on taxes and get... that's how you want to be, Joe. What's up, ladies? How are you?
Good.
Hey,
good. How are you doing?
Hey, so where are you guys at? Tell us about where you are in the country so people know, and tell us a little about your salon, the size, and kind of what your, how many staff do you have now? And you guys have been obviously from a rental situation into commission. Tell us a little about that for a second.
Okay. We're in Kansas City, Missouri, and it is currently a blizzard out. So it goes 50 degrees, and now it's a blizzard.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have a 2,800 square foot salon.
Nice.
And we're currently one booth renter and 20 staff members.
We have 21.
21 now. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Woo!
We opened in 2016, and we were fully booth rental at that time. So we started with just 5 of us. It was me and Ashley, and we had 3 people that came with us. And we just grew and grew in the booth renter side. And we had 18 booth renters in 2017 and just decided it was time for a change. We had both booth rented before and felt like if we led our culture in booth rental to be the way we wanted our salon to be, that we could have the kind of environment we wanted, but it wasn't working, even with us owning and managing the salon of booth renters. So we decided to make the change.
Yeah.
So you associate in June of 17.
Your first associate, June of 17, which got you in moving into the commission salon world and building up an actual staff instead of just having a bunch of people who can do hair in the same place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you had said you had done a little research, and I was excited to hear about it, but I didn't want to talk about it before the show. You guys said you've done a little research of kind of where you've been and where you are. Do you mind disclosing a little bit about that to us?
Well, some of it I just shared a little bit about, like we started with just 5 people, and do you want numbers or do you want?
Well, I would say whatever you're comfortable sharing. I mean, I think it is interesting to your point on going from 5 people to now 20 plus people. I mean, that's completely up to you. But I think the other thing is we can talk a little bit about just the business in general and what the difference is in culture too. You tell me.
Okay. Well, one of the things, the first 5 people were just booth renters, obviously, and so there was no real salon revenue. It was just the rental income that we had. Like Doug mentioned, we were just landlords. And our first 6 months, Ashley pulled some numbers here, and we do what we did in the first 6 months of us being open and actually counting and revenue as a company. We do that in 2 months now versus 6 months.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's huge.
So we have a company team now of 21 people, and some of that support staff. We do have 5 support staff on that. But we switched from 18 booth renters to 21 company stylists over the course of years.
That's massive. And I think you guys, that's where I want you guys paying attention. If you're watching the show with us live, do me a favor and comment live. I want to know that you guys are here, and just make sure that as you guys understand this, is like they did a full flip-flop from all renters to all commission. So I want to know all except for one, right? We have one renter left still, I heard. Talk to me about what was your main motivation? Because I think if I'm playing devil's advocate, I think there's going to be a lot of stylists maybe that watch this that go, well, yeah, duh. If the owner, you'd want to switch to commission because you guys will make all the money then. You keep all the money for yourselves and you're screwing those booth renters, right? Like, I'm just being honest. That's what may come out of the conversation. So help me understand as an owner why you switched, and then for your staff why you switched.
We couldn't control the culture leasing out stations. So basically, Mandy and I decided that we wanted to change our culture and build upon that.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of like what culturally was going on that wasn't the way you wanted it to go? Like why was it a problem to not control the culture, like in your mind? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I'll say one thing that really bothered me was the lack of professionalism that I felt like we were experiencing. And so when my guests would come in for a visit with me, they kind of had to deal with anyone else's drama or anyone else's lack of cleanliness or anyone else's conversation, anything like that was going on in the salon. I had no control over what else was going on around me. And I was running a business myself, trying to do hair and grow and do these things. And I just felt like the environment was not what I wanted to work in behind the chair.
And I see this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I think there was a little delay there. Sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to say too, like new customers coming in, there was no system for that.
Yeah, and I think what ends up happening, and I see this question come up all the time. I just saw in a forum yesterday. They said, how much do you make your booth renters clean up their workstations? Right? They were like, what do you require your booth renters to do? How clean do they have to keep things? What do you force them to do? And it's this whole thing. I think this creates this challenge a lot, right? Is that people have different standards inside a salon. And when you have an open concept salon and there's stylists all over the place, it's kind of like you have a whole bunch of roommates that don't like to, some like to clean, some are neat freaks, some are not clean at all, some like to be loud and obnoxious, some don't like to be, and you're trying to create something uniform, and then it creates a challenge. The other question that I see is that people ask this question. They go, hey, one of my renters did a bad color and she called and wanted to speak to the manager and complain about the salon. And since my name is on the building, I'm not really sure how to handle that. Do I make this renter redo the color, or do I just do it for her and just make it right since it's my salon? Again, those are the kind of questions that you deal with when you have a rental salon. Doug, do you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem is that you're stuck. If it's your reputation on the line, then you're stuck with it, and you can't force the booth renter to do it. It's their business, their choice. That's what I'm saying. It's according to what are you wanting to run. I mean, if you want to do that where you're a landlord, the problem with the landlord part, that's all the money you're ever going to make off your business. But when you're growing people and allow them to grow, it's much different. And so I'd like to ask Ashley and Mandy about how do your staff feel now? How does your staff feel, and how do they work together now compared to how your booth renters did in the beginning?
Well, truly they're a team, and the culture is very, very strong with how we treat each other, and we have each other's back, and we're there for each other. So it just is entirely different. Like, if something's going to go wrong, somebody has your back and not just going to leave you there. So
that's massive.
Yeah, that was a big thing with ours. Whenever we switched, instead of people being out for themselves and what are they getting that I'm not getting and all that stuff that was going on, it now becomes very much like you said, everybody's got each other's back. If I have to go out on maternity leave, or if I'm sick, or if someone's just struggling with the color, people are willing to help them because they want to see the business increase as a whole. And they just seem to come in with a better attitude. I mean, the mood level inside our salon, wherever we went to fully commissioned from being a hybrid, changed tremendously. I mean, it just, people enjoyed coming to work instead of everybody with their guard up. It seemed like when we had the rental people in place, it was everybody had their guard up, and it was a very defensive environment, which I don't think is a healthy environment to work inside of. First, I don't like that I didn't enjoy it. And I really enjoy now going in that we've got a team of people. And it's like I tell them all the time, now that my job is to help them be as wildly successful as possible. That was not my job with the booth renters. But my job now is to help them be wildly successful. So from an employee standpoint, it's a very good environment for them to work in.
Yeah.
So that's where we came from.
So by the way, I want to come back from a break in just a second. So we're actually overdue for a break, but I want to come back and I want to talk about what steps did you guys follow to actually convert from rental to commission? Because I think that's one of the biggest things. Doug, I want to find out from you, what have some steps been, and also from the ladies here to find that out, because I think when we talk about culture and team, it's amazing, but a lot of people just go, I don't know what else to do besides rent. Renting's easy, so that's why I do it. When we come back, we're going to talk about that all in about 45 seconds. All right, so we're talking to Mandy and Ashley City. They're in the Blizzard, and also have just recently switched in the last couple of years from being a rental salon into a commission salon. And we're talking about why you would do that, right? How do you control the culture? How do you control your actual business and go from being a kind of like an apartment / landlord with a bunch of roommates to an actual team that are all working together to run the business? So what sort of things did you ladies do first? Like, how did you go about making that switch? Did you just sit down and tell all your renters, sorry guys, tomorrow you're either on commission or have a nice life? Or like, what the hell did you guys do? How'd you begin that conversation?
No, we did not do that. We did sit them down and we had a meeting, and we just kind of let them know honestly what was going to happen. We did tell
and what was that? What did you say was going to happen?
that we did tell them in the beginning they would always have a home here, and we meant it. We had to decide with each other if we really meant that or not, that they would always have a home here if they wanted it, but we were going to start making decisions for our company based on growing a commission team. And we had hired one associate at that time, and we let them know that that would continue. We started hiring support staff, and we just really started making decisions about our business based on growing that team. And basically, they just one by one decided that another salon was better for them. We actually have great relationships with all of them. Several of them left individually, and then we did have a little bit of a group leave at one time. But it was time for everyone. And again, we have great relationships with them still, and I don't think we regret any of the decisions we made.
I think it helped that we were completely transparent, and we had a great relationship with them to begin with, and they truly knew that our word was what we meant. So.
Yeah, that's big. And I think, again, people always ask that question of like, what's the best policy? Or like, well, I'm going to lose my whole staff. I mean, you guys went from at one point, I think you said 18 renters, to now you're at whatever, 20 commission. I mean, that's a pretty large flip-flop. How long did that process take? Like over what period of time? And then I was partway through that journey, you guys got involved with us at the Academy. Tell me about that. Like about how long did that process take and when did we jump in with you guys?
So like Mandy said before, that we had one associate back in 2017. I think it was about 6 months after that she told me that we were going to go to Scottsdale and go to this high performance salon academy.
Those crazy bastards over at high performance salon.
And I was like, okay. And she's like, no, we're going, or I'm going to go without you. And I'm like, you're not going without me.
Solid.
So we went and we had an awesome time.
Yeah. And
we've been with you guys ever since. But it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And so saying, this organically needs to happen. We can't push it.
What were your biggest lessons on kind of creating a commission salon? If you were to give somebody tips, what advice would you give to yourself, circa 4 years ago now?
Well, I think one of the first things is to be patient and know that not everyone is. We actually did have one person convert. We offered that to everyone right away. So I would offer that to people and let them know the benefit of what coming over to the company team, is what we called it at the time, would do for them. And so just know that not everyone's going to convert. That's okay. And be patient.
And you can still be friends with them. I think that was an important thing. I know that sounds silly, but I think so many salon owners are like, but these are my friends. I've known them forever. Like, I'm just so worried I'll ruin their relationship, as opposed to running the business.
That's where the transparency came in. We decided together what we were willing to do, and we stuck with it the whole time. And we told our team what we were doing.
Well, and also you guys have told us over and over and over to lead with love and not with fear. So if you truly look at a situation that way, we led with love.
Yeah.
I think the transparency that y'all did throughout the process was key to it. I mean, there was times that it made sense to raise the rent, and it made sense to do some other things. But you were clear with them. It's like, this is the direction we're going in. And as long as you don't upset this other direction, you're perfectly welcome to stay. And I think that's the key to maintaining relationship. It's whenever people try to be deceptive or manipulate people, I think that's where you start to run into problems. And the other thing is, I think y'all set your intentions as to what you wanted, and then you move towards that intention, not hoping to or being willing to harm anybody. So I think that's what brought your vision into reality, was that you just got very clear about what your intention was and walked down that path with integrity. So, I mean, I think that's, congratulations, by the way. It's a thing that scares a lot of people, but y'all were willing to take that on, and you're just doing outstanding. So.
Yeah. Congratulations is a really big thing, to just let you guys know. Doug, what would you say is the top advice you would give to people going from rental to commission? Where to start, where to go? What would be your top couple tips?
I think you got to look at it and say, again, what do I want for a business? Do I want to just have a booth rental operator where I'm bringing in a certain amount of, fixed income for rent, and I'm happy with that? or do I want a full salon company? I mean, I think that's, and then when you do, and the good thing is I'm a numbers guy, just run the numbers and see what it looks like, see what a transition would look like, see, if it happened quickly, what would that look like? And then you can make the decisions based on what you want to do. But I think running the scenarios with your budget, then you kind of get a good feel for what's right for you. But you just need to get real honest with yourself, because some people have delusions about their booth rental salon, and it's not what they seem. And sometimes that causes them to break the laws, causes them to do things with that group that can turn that puts them in a lot of jeopardy, because if they get in trouble and have to pay those matching taxes back however many years, you upset one person and they turn you in, and it was the one that always demanded to be a booth renter, turned you in, and now demands to be treated as an employee. If they can prove you made them do certain things, then you're done.
Right.
You need to know the rules. You need to make sure that you're running it correctly, and understand because some people do run salons that they call commission, but they 1099 everybody. That doesn't work. That's not.
We've seen that.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot. And again, I'm in California. We've seen salons that have been back billed by the tax commission, like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've seen salons completely go under $500,000, $750,000 in back taxes they owe, because a lot of salons, and Mandy and Ashley, I think you said this really well, is you wanted to be able to manage the team and you realized that you couldn't do that in a rental environment. I think the biggest mistake that a lot of you rental salons might be making right now is you're running the salon like a commission salon, but paying everybody as rental, which is one of the most illegal, most dangerous things you can do. You thought going to the casino and spending some money was illegal? No, let's talk about how dangerous this could actually be for you. So if you really do wish to have a culture, and I think this is the plight of booth rental salons everywhere, is they want a family, they want a team, they want to be able to create a culture of people who love each other, come to work, clean up their space, and it's this one cohesive salon, but they're trying to do that in a rental environment. And I think that's one of the most dangerous things that exists. I know there's plenty of places out there that are running suite rental, and you just have all these little mini salons. That's very different than a salon that is trying to run a one cohesive salon and trying to just make everybody rental. So please, please, please be aware of the local laws, do some research, start figuring out. This is a hot topic for us. We're going to be exploring this a lot over the upcoming months. In fact, Doug and I are working on a resource right now for people inside our academy to actually be able to run the numbers so you can see the difference between what your staff would make and what you would make, whether you run a commission salon or a rental salon. And I think it makes a big difference to understand the actual numbers, because oftentimes the numbers can be deceiving. To the point, Doug, is there's people who say, well, I just won't pay tax and I'll make more money. Well, look, I can't help you if you want to rob from the government. I can't do that. If you want to be Robin Hood, knock yourself out. But if you want to run by the law and by the letter and do what Mandy and Ashley did and be able to create a business and create a team, then you're going to need to figure out and learn how to run a commission salon. That's a really big deal. So Mandy and Ashley, I'm really grateful for you coming on and sharing your story and just telling us a little bit more about your journey. So thank you guys for being on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
And if you guys enjoyed today's content, you enjoyed this topic, do me a favor and say enjoyed it. If you want to see more of it, ask your questions in the comments section about rental and commission. And as we create more content, we'll make sure that we address more of your questions on upcoming shows and on videos and content. And it's a free gift for watching the podcast with us today. If you head over to salonowner.tv, we've got hundreds of resources for you. In fact, hundreds of resources and videos all available for you for one monthly low price. But I want to give you a gift because you were hanging out with us today. In fact, I'm going to give you a $50 gift. It's about 50% off your first month inside our salonowner.tv subscription. If you just use the word podcast over at salonowner.tv, you'll get an amazing bonus, 50% off your first month inside our High Performance Salon Accelerator program, and would love to help you, support you, and figure out how you can grow a business that makes you more income, makes you more, gets you more time off, and gives you the freedom that you desire as a salon owner. Doug, thanks for being on the podcast today. And ladies, one more time, thank you for being on.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Yeah.
Have a great day,
Thanks
guys.
for listening to the Evo Revo podcast.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Salon Scale, allowing you to charge by what you know, not by what you feel.
Please subscribe, leave us a review, and you can always get more information, including show notes and the video episodes at evorevopodcast.com.